Structured ability groups, after falling out of favour from the 1970s, are making a comeback. Primaries, as well as secondaries, are adopting sets based on ability, especially for core subjects. But they don't come with any guarantee of improved achievement. That depends on how they are run and organised. One junior school, which has been singled out by Ofsted as a top 20 outstanding school excelling against all the odds, is in no doubt that its success is due in good part to ability sets for numeracy and literacy. We visited the school to find out how setting is applied. Key to the school's approach is making the right assessment of every child and then moving them promptly upwards or downwards. The sense here is that most parents and children are happy with how it works. But of course, this isn't always the case.
There's only been one case since I've been here where I've had to have a series of conversations. In the end, my point of view and the supporting data was accepted.
What happens if the pupil objects?
That has happened on a few occasions where the pupil has said that they really don't want to go down. And normally in that situation, certainly when it's happened to me, I've been impressed that the child has really wanted to stay in whatever set it is.
This is Berrymead School on the South Acton estate in West London, where setting never really went away. The school splits into ability sets every morning for numeracy and literacy. Years 3, 4 and 5 are divided into 3, reflecting the school's 3-form intake. In Year 6, there are 4 sets.
It's smaller groups, more focus. We're preparing them for high school. There are lots of transitional elements. It's not just about the academic side of things. It's about building up their self-esteem, preparing them for high school and other things that they will come across. So there are many things, many dimensions to Year 6.
We visited each of the Year 6 sets, moving from bottom to top.
100 centimetres equals
Metre.
1 metre. Yeah, good.
Pupils are initially placed into sets based on Key Stage 1 results. After that, progress is assessed with formal tests every term for numeracy and every half term for literacy.
It says all together. What does that tell you? Which of your operations are you going to have to use? Addition. Addition. And then, this one's a really easy one. What's the sum we're going to do, Zainab?
23 and 22 and 40.
Right, OK, then off we go.
But there's almost continuous assessment carried out by the class teachers.
It is literally done week by week as each piece of work is done literally on a daily basis, every numeracy hour, every literacy hour. So a child, if they have performed absolutely brilliantly for a week or 2 weeks, the teacher will notice that immediately and almost this child is too good for the work that I am setting. Now, rather than having an extension work within that class, far easier to promote the child, fantastic, great for confidence, and up they go to the next set up. I've got a child in my middle maths set at the moment who has come up from the special needs set. She has done so well. We've got a test coming up next week, our QCAs, and my guess is that she will do really well in that and she'll go up to the top set. So within the space of about 4 months, she has gone from special needs to top set, and that is how flexible it is if a child really does well.
Well, if I say round to the nearest tenth, don't say, how many decimal places am I going to have? 1. If I say round to the nearest hundredth? 2. OK, so that's what we need to remember. Right, both of you. Round that number to the nearest hundredth. So how many decimal places?
1. No, 2.
2. Go.
Of course, pupils may be moved down, but they're always told why.
There's a conversation that takes place between the teachers and the child. So we're quite frank and open, actually, with children. We look at their targets, whether they've achieved them, we look at their data, and we'd have a frank conversation.
Kelly chooses a section of a newspaper. She draws a bar chart of the number of letters in each word. What fraction of the 50 words have more than 6 letters?
Parents are also informed in advance if their child is about to be moved.
We would try and give as much of a period of time's notice so that the parent, if they were able to help their children, whether it was with English or maths, some of course can't, but if they were able to do that, then they could intervene and try and encourage their child to stay in that set.
If a pupil resists a move, which happens very rarely, they're often given another chance to prove themselves. It's more likely that objections come from parents.
In that case, I've had extended conversations with particular parents where I've produced data and justified our position and tried to make a convincing argument that it's actually for the child's benefit, that they just have that little bit of extra support in a smaller group, in a focused way, with differentiated work, just until they make up the difference or improve.
There's only been one case in recent years of a parent continuing to object after meeting staff. As we discovered from parents at the school gate, there's no lack of confidence or trust in the school.
If I see something reasonable, then I don't need to complain. If I just see that there's something different and still have to keep on, see, and then if it is needed, then I have to complain, yes, of course.
How would you feel if the teachers turned around and said, I'm afraid your son is going to go down a set? Would you accept it?
I accept it, providing they got some kind of, much information they can give me. So then I can work out, okay, why all of a sudden 1 minute he's in high set, why all of a sudden he's dropped down to middle set or low set.
If he's not doing very well up, then of course the teacher will move him, but due to his capability, I wouldn't advise them to move him down until they see he's underachieving.
You'd accept their decision if you saw the evidence?
If I see the evidence, yeah.
If they moved me to a lower set, I would ask the teacher why. And if it's a good reading, I'll just leave it.
This parent governor believes parents are supportive of setting because they recognise it eases the pressure on children who are newly arrived.
Going into sets does help the children because they're mixing not only with their classmates but also people along the same intellectual level in particular subjects, so that they don't feel they're left out at all. Because I think some of the small, if you come in as a refugee and are put into a class, it's probably quite frightening. But if you're with people who not only are your same age but also same ability, I think it gives a certain stability to help the learning process.
Of course, the belief that low esteem and social alienation are caused by structured ability groups was a major factor in the move away from them, and one of the main reasons why this teacher opposed them. When he arrived at the school 9 years ago, numeracy was taught in sets, and plans were being made to extend it to literacy, plans which he spoke against.
I'd only recently come out of being just recently graduated as a teacher. I had all the sort of ideas that I got from Roehampton, which is where I studied, where the idea really wasn't in favour of setting. And I was worried that the children in the lower sets, really, that they would kind of feel that they were stigmatised in a way, that that they were no good at something, and that they would become demotivated and sort of, a bit disillusioned. That was the fear, really.
Did that happen?
No, it hasn't. I've been really, really pleasantly surprised. I'm always amazed at the confidence of the children. They are still really, really motivated. They really don't seem to feel that they're failures, and all those fears that I had haven't, I've not seen them come true, really.
Wednesday, W-E.
What kind of W?
Capital W.
For pupils who may feel demotivated, however, support is available to improve their self-esteem.
A-Y.
The school organises sessions with games and tasks that pupils can do to boost their confidence. But according to the school, there's no link between attendance and being in lower sets.
Although I haven't done a correlation study of self-esteem groups and lower sets, I think that there is not a massive impact on self-esteem, but if there is, it's picked up by teachers and teaching assistants, and quite often it's the teaching assistants who will pick up and come to me as the SENCO and say, look, I think this child would benefit from a term's worth of small group work on self-esteem or surrounding issues.
There has been some discussion about extending setting to other subjects, but the school's wary about undermining the relationship between teachers and their classes.
Choose 4
important parts in that story, and you're going to plot them on the graph.
If you go to sets for every different subject, I think you lose something. So it slightly contradicts what I'm saying. Obviously, we concentrate very much on the English and maths because of the SATs. We also thought in Year 6, over the last few years when I've been head of Year 6, should we go to setting for science? And we decided not to do it because we thought we'd lose that special flavour of the primary school teacher with his or her class. And it is one of the very special things that any primary school teacher will know. It's my class for the year.
What does evaluate mean? Did it do the job that it was designed for?
What we're going to do today, we're going to do some shared writing. We're going to create an advert for Hannah's mobile phone. Okay? Let's have some ideas.
Drill demolition.
Drill demolition. I like it.
Encouraging pupils to move onwards and upwards does not create any capacity problems in the upper sets. There's always room at the top.
In Year 6, we operate 4 sets within 3 classes. So the top literacy group will have 28 children. We only have 71 in the year group. So unless everybody was suddenly, you know, doing exceedingly well, in which case we'd create 2 upper sets. But there's no capacity issue.
There's also a drive to improve away from the classroom. School sports teams excel in local tournaments, and pupils can be seen pushing themselves in sports old and new. This pupil is a champion cup stacker, with hopes of competing in the World Championship. It's an ethos of needing to succeed that the head is keen to promote and happy to defend.
There's a competitive kind of feel in virtually everything we do here. You've had a taster of our sports. We've won the local sports championships for about 8 years running, bar 1 year. It may have been considered unhealthy in the past, it may still be considered unhealthy, but we found that for our children to have that competitive edge is vital. And high schools that they then go on to often comment that the children that come from Berrymead specifically, number 1, they mingle well, number 2, they're adaptable, and number 3, they're actually really, really willing to succeed and to do whatever it takes to succeed. They're hard-working children.
Isn't it putting children under a lot of pressure?
Perhaps, but isn't that what life is about these days?
It is when you're an adult, not when you're a child.
But I think if it's done in a safe, secure, healthy environment, I think you don't end up with children who are terribly stressed about these matters. It's considered to be healthy to be a little bit competitive. And again, it's to their ability, it's to their own individual needs.
The ability grouping debate is bound to continue, but whether you approve or disapprove of setting, there's no denying that some children are in a class of their own.